Most people think your life gets easier as the business grows. It does not. At 23, you dream about quitting your job. At 35, you dream about one weekend without checking your phone. At 45, you wonder whether you still know how to stop. Every stage gives you something you once wanted. Your first customer, your first employee, your first real office. Then it quietly asks for something back. Time, sleep, certainty. Sometimes even your identity. You think you are building a company, but what if the company is spending 20 years building you first? So what does your life actually look like at every stage of becoming an entrepreneur? Level 1. The dreamer. It usually starts with something no one else notices. A notebook sitting on the corner of your kitchen table. A phone filled with business ideas you'll never tell anyone about. A domain name you bought at 1:17 a.m. because it felt like the first real step toward a different life. Every morning, you drive to a job that pays your bills while wondering if it's quietly stealing your future. During lunch, you watch founders talk about freedom as if it's just one good idea away. At night, your laptop stays open long after dinner has gone cold. You tell yourself you'll start soon, after you save a little more, after work slows down, after you know enough. The reasons sound responsible, they also keep you exactly where you are. From the outside, nothing about your life looks unusual. You show up on time. You smile in meetings. You collect a paycheck every other Friday. Inside your head, you've already resigned 100 times. You think your biggest obstacle is money, or experience, or connections. But deep down, you already know the truth. The hardest part of building a business isn't finding your first customer. It's becoming the kind of person willing to begin before feeling ready. Because the perfect moment never arrives. Only the decision does. Level 2. The builder. The first customer changes something inside you. Not the money, the proof. Someone you have never met decides that what you made is worth paying for. One email becomes an invoice. The invoice becomes a notification on your phone. For a few minutes, the future feels real. Then Monday morning arrives. Your job is still waiting. So is the business. Your employer gets the daylight. Your dream gets whatever energy is left after dinner. Weekends disappear into revisions, customer messages, and small problems that somehow take 3 hours to solve. Your friends invite you out less often. Not because they are angry, because they already know the answer. I'm working. You say it so often that it begins to sound less like an excuse and more like your name. Customers slowly multiply. 1 becomes 5. 5 become 10. Each new sale feels like progress. Each one also takes another night, another promise to your family, another morning where coffee has to do the work of sleep. You still call it freedom, because compared to standing still, exhaustion feels like movement. But no one tells you the first version of your business is rarely a business. It is another job, one you built for yourself. And unlike the old one, this job follows you home. Level 3, the operator. Hiring your first employee feels like proof that the business is becoming real. Then Friday arrives, not because the week is over, because payroll is due. For the first time, someone else's rent, groceries, and electric bill depend on decisions you made months ago. The business is no longer carrying only your ambition, it is carrying other people's lives. Money lands in the company account, but it never feels like yours. Some of it already belongs to employees, some to insurance, some to taxes, some to suppliers who expect to be paid whether your month was good or not. The office gets another desk. The warehouse gets more equipment. Phones ring more often. From the outside, it looks like growth. Inside, it feels like maintenance. A slow month can erase 6 good ones. One wrong hire can cost more than your first year of profit. One unhappy client can follow you home and sit beside you at 3 a.m. People think entrepreneurs become fearless. They do not. Their fears simply become more expensive. Some nights, you are the last person to leave. You lock the office, walk across the empty parking lot, and sit in your car without starting it. The business no longer depends only on how hard you work. Now it depends on what you decide, and that weight follows you home. Level 4. The leader. One morning, you realize you have spent 3 hours without producing anything. No customer emails, no invoices, no orders packed, just meetings. At first, it feels like you have stopped working. Then you understand that this is the work now. The business no longer needs another pair of hands. It needs someone who can decide where all the hands should move next. Your calendar fills before you open it. Hiring interviews replace late-night tasks. Strategy meetings replace customer calls. People no longer ask, "How do we fix this?" They ask, "What should we do?" For years, your value came from solving problems yourself. Now, it comes from choosing which problems deserve everyone else's attention. That sounds like power. Most days, it feels like weight. A bad decision no longer costs only your time. It can cost someone a promotion, a family, a relocation, or an entire team months of work. People begin introducing you differently. Founder, CEO, owner. The words sound like the destination you once imagined. What they do not show are the hotel rooms that all look the same, the flights that blur together, or the family dinners missed, because one more decision could not wait. From the outside, the company finally looks bigger than you. Inside, you are starting to wonder whether your life has become smaller. Because leadership begins when everyone starts waiting for your answer. Level 5, the owner. For years, you believed success meant building a company that could run without you. Then, one morning, it finally does. You arrive later than usual. No one is waiting outside your office. No emergency fills your inbox. The sales team is already moving. Managers are solving problems before you hear about them. The company has learned how to breathe without your hands around its throat. You should feel relieved. Instead, the silence makes you restless. For so long, urgency gave your life a rhythm. Every phone call mattered. Every problem made you necessary. Being needed became part of your identity. Now, the business is healthier, and you feel strangely less important. You take the vacation you postponed for nearly a decade. The ocean is calm. Your family laughs over dinner. Your phone stays face down beside your plate. 10 minutes later, you pick it up anyway. No one called, nothing broke. You simply do not know how to stop checking. The habits that built the company have followed you into the life you were building it for. People think ownership is the final form of freedom. It is not. Freedom begins when the business no longer needs every hour you have. But it only becomes real when you learn that your worth is not measured by how often someone needs you. The company has finally become independent. The question is whether you have. Level 6, the exit. The deal closes on a Tuesday. A few signatures, a handshake, then a wire transfer appears with more zeros than you ever expected to see beside your name. For a moment, it feels exactly the way you imagined. Relief, pride, silence. You drive home expecting the world to look different. But Wednesday arrives like every other Wednesday. Except your phone does not ring. No manager needs approval. No client has an emergency. No employee is waiting outside your office. For nearly 20 years, your mornings answered one question. What does the business need from you today? Now, the question is gone. And with it, a part of the person you became. You return to the office one last time. You take the old notebook, a framed photograph, and the coffee mug stained by thousands of early mornings. The building looks exactly the same. You are the part that feels unfamiliar. People think selling the company is the finish line. Sometimes it is the first morning in decades when no one requires you to be anywhere. Success did not leave you with an empty calendar. It left you with an empty role. And now you have to build something harder than the company. The next version of yourself. Level 7. The legacy. Years ago, you thought success would be measured in numbers. Revenue, employees, offices, the amount that appeared in your account when the company was sold. Now those numbers rarely matter. You notice different things. The former employee who starts a company of her own. The young manager who still calls before making a difficult decision. The customer who says your business helped change his family's life. None of it appeared on a balance sheet. Yet it feels more valuable than anything that did. Every stage changed what success meant. First freedom, then survival, then growth, then responsibility, then time, and finally impact. Looking back, you realize the company was never the greatest thing you built. It was the place where you became someone capable of creating opportunities for other people. Businesses can be sold, money can be spent, but the people you helped grow continue long after your name leaves the door.